The lizard person in my kitchen.
As a man.
Why are you in the kitchen?
Okay. Obviously, I'm in full panic mode at this point, and I dove into my open closet and hid there like a little bitch that I am. Quick side note, listening to y'all's previous discussion on how not to get eaten by monsters, I didn't even think to hide under my covers. That's genius. Yeah, dude, that's fucking not getting eaten by monsters. Anybody of any notoriety must be co-opted, must be, you know, on the side of the opposition, must be trying to mislead the flock, like all this other shit. And then they look for things that confirm it one way or another.
We have to be safe. We have to be careful what we do. Move culture.
Yeah,
be weird.
make the universe.
He even mentioned my invention, telling me it was such a genius idea.
God wants you to fucking vaporize this weed, dog.
God's like, God thinks it's really hilarious. It's crazy, but maybe don't.
God loves the idea that you put weed in an inhaler. If you leave pumpkins or something like that on the porch around Halloween, they'll ferment, and then the squirrels will eat them, and the squirrels will get drunk, and they'll fall off the trees. Well, it's very funny. One of the things that I'm grateful for that you taught me was this, like, the yes and model, which is to say, like, people are going to come for you, and you could try to waste your breath and address every single person that's screaming up at you. So the only recourse you do have is to either, like, hide from it or to just stand up and go, fuck you. And that works a lot better. I dive my body in and catch this old woman. And let me tell you something. I've done that enough times to know it's never received well. It almost feels like you should just let people fall. But I caught her, and her body felt like it was made of pillows. It was so weird. Like, I was bent over at the hip, and my arms were extended. And I still caught her and was able to lift her up.
We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some Nephilim shit.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us fight and be slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds, and won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing poison in the air.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of NDS Chronicles, the show where we read your submitted paranormal testimony. I am David Lee Corbo, a.k.a. The Raven. That is Top Lobster, the father of disinformation. And before we get into today's content, whatever, I would like to remind all of the live viewers that this is a 30-minute preview only. Sometime around the 30-minute mark, we'll be going live exclusively to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad, where you can continue enjoying this episode, engaging with the free chat, checking that picture out. That's not on patreon.com.
Shout out Milkus. Milkus Dogus. Go to
man.
twitch.tv//Milkus Dogus. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's playing video games and or something like that, but I love this guy.
I'm excited for it. I mean, afterwards, we'll be tuning into that to watch it. I mean, we'll do a live watch party. Anyway, guys, patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. You know the deal, and you can do it for free. All that good stuff is there, as well as a shit ton of backlog content. Dude, when I tell you we're really backlogged, we're really backlogged. Like, if you're hearing this right now and you think that you're up to date on episodes and you're not a Patreon member, you are fucking mistaken, dude.
It's an emergency. It's an
emergency.
emergency.
Kind of an emergency. It really is. We're trying to get up episodes as quickly as we can. We make them faster than we air them. And I would say for every one that we air, we make 2 to 3. So do the math. It's not good. All right, guys, go on to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Do the thing. Enjoy the stuff. We're back, baby.
That's right.
Today we are going to... oh, wait. Do we have to tell them about Bohemian Grove? Bohemian Grove, June 20th through the 21st.
Actually, maybe we could play. Let's play a little fucking clip for them.
Oh yeah, we can play the little clip for them. It's not done, but we'll play a clip for them.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep vamping.
We haven't paid for this clip yet, but we're gonna.
It's a rough draft. It's a rough draft, but we're figuring out. And honestly, it doesn't even really say anything.
No, it doesn't really say anything, but it's fun though, guys. June 20th through the 21st at Leesburg, Florida, in the Tropic Theater. Performances from Owen Benjamin, Sam Tripoli, Nephilim, Death Squad, Tower Gang. Ooh, play it. Somewhere between Area 51, Comedy Central, and a really intense episode of Ancient Aliens, there exists a place.
I don't like this. Welcome to Bohemian Grove, June 20th to 21st, the Tropic, Leesburg, Florida.
Featuring performances from Tower Gang, Nephilim, Death Squad. Other people will be there too.
Hosted by the cosmic cowboy of consciousness himself, Shane Cashman.
You'll experience live podcasts, wild performances,
and the kind of conversations that'll get your group chats flagged by the NSA. God damn it.
Day 2 isn't just off the rails. There are no rails. Yeah, that is right.
It's unfiltered, uncensored, and quite possibly a psyop, but a really fun one.
Conspiracies, comedy, chaos. At least one guy trying to sell you DMT in the parking lot.
Welcome to Bohemian Grove. 2 days. Shut up.
Bohemian Grove 3.
2 days.
1 portal.
And remember, if you don't show up, tickets are on sale now. No, tickets aren't on sale yet, but they will be.
They're not on sale at all, guys.
We jumped the gun.
Oh, my God. Anyway, if you want tickets to whatever we just described there, that's going to be available very soon. Only to our Patreon members, patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Happy birthday, Ryan Drew. You better fucking be there, dude. If you guys want tickets, you're going to have to be there because we've talked about this before, right? Sam Tripoli, huge draw. Owen Benjamin, huge draw. As soon as we open up the floodgates to their audience, those tickets are going to go very quickly. So we're doing this as a choking point so that our fans can be there because we want dangerous in the live audience more than we want bears and more than we want tinfoil hat enjoyers. We want you guys there. So we'll give you an opportunity, but it won't last long. Just keep an eye on patreon.com/Death Squad.
In case you guys are wondering like what it's going to be about, like what this event is going to be about, it's going to be very much... No, I'll show you what it's going to be about. It's going to be like this guy's event, which he's mentioning over here.
Oh yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah, well, this is whatever. We're doing what we want. This is our show. We're gonna play.
Yeah, we don't have to read any chronicles. Actually, we just
people come from all over the country to show up for this because they know they're going to get something that's actual.
They got Leonardo Joni calling half of the audience faggots, and Sam Tripoli.
First off, we did it. We did. Yes. Hi, Kate. This is
Hello,
this is
Kate.
live. Hello. Doxed. Yes, we did this first. We actually had Leonardo Joni before you did. But let's get. Yes, that part's implied, David. But let's continue listening because it's quite embarrassing for him. But here we go.
Claiming that he crushed,
Hold on, wait,
but
pause it
only
real quick.
on the left side of.
I just want to give the audience context. He's describing his event. He had an event, and he's describing that he had Leonardo Joni there and shit like that. So they're describing this dude Steve's event first. Now you can press play.
This is very interesting. Yes, look at people taking him serious. Okay, here we go.
The barn. So it was a great weekend.
Charlie's such a nice guy.
Steve, you guys did a great job. Poster was over there cooking.
Look at Don looking real old in the middle there. What's up, Don?
Love Don Jeffries. Looking rough. Looking
rough.
dehydrated.
But like you, I don't know who Matt is. But hi, Matt. Okay.
No, I don't know who that is.
Kurt Metzger came up on.
Where did this bitch come from? Did you just see that?
Where did that lady come from, bro? What the fuck? I was just wondering. I was like, whose window is that? And all of a sudden, she arose from the depths.
Yeah, there we go.
It was a great weekend.
Look at this.
It was a
like
lot
the
of fun.
Undertaker.
Steve,
Ready?
You guys did a great job. Poster was over there cooking. Kurt Metzger came up on stage.
What was she doing down there?
Seven Seas was on.
Hi, Leonardo.
Scott Armstrong.
Oh, there she is.
Sam and I we just had too much fun. It's great, and I agree with Steve. If you have
here, this is great, guys.
Of being able to get out and maybe travel for a couple days and go to one of these events, be it Third Eye Carnival or Narcapulco, which I've been to a bunch, or some of the other ones, Music and Sky, Confluence.
Oh, look, he left. It's better.
Pork Fest.
He got bumped off because they have 40 people.
You're not going to regret it. You're only going to feel more connected. You'll have some nice memories from it.
All right. Come on, Charlie.
They can't take away from you. Who knows how much longer we're going to be allowed to travel the way we have? I mean, I can certainly envision a scenario in which clearly they don't want us flying. They're making the experience terrible on every level.
Bohemian Grove number
Bohemian
2.
Grove.
I think Tripoli's our closer. I'm not sure.
Okay,
but
pause
yeah,
it real
it'll be
quick.
Nephilim Death.
So yeah, Clint is now to
Is
the point
somebody
where he's
doing lawn by you?
Dude, I cannot explain to you how frustrating it is. As soon as I start doing a show, these motherfuckers come up and do yard work outside my window every single time.
Love it.
But Clint Russell just got to the point where he's now describing Bohemian Grove, because if we're doing event shout outs, then of course, Clint Russell's going to want to shout out Bohemian Grove. And he totally butchers it, by the way. It is the third Bohemian Grove, not the second one. But here, let it rip.
What does this mean? Is it because we're boring you?
No,
you
no.
listen to that show.
I think that they mean that's how they listen to Union of the Unwanted.
Yeah, I listened to it on mute, but here we go.
That's called Boys Stargate.
No, just joking.
It's fun.
Only Steve Sparks.
Like you guys were having
by
a
the
good
way,
time
fucking
last year.
hilarious because
Wait, here comes the hate, guys. This is fun.
Here it goes.
I'm bringing this up because I have plans to kill this person. Not in real life.
I love how he's in Minecraft.
Hassan Piker!
Hassan Piker! I'm coming to you in Los Angeles. So listen to the way he in your house. Listen to the way he starts this conversation. He starts by laughing, and then he said, "What does he say? Pull it back just 3 seconds." It's the most disingenuous way to start this because it's not funny to him. He thinks we're robbing him.
Yeah, it's psychotic, really. But here we go.
Nephilim Death Squad Boys Stargate, guys. It's fun.
And it looked like you guys were having a good time.
By the way,
last
fucking
year.
hilarious.
Is it fucking hilarious, Steve?
A couple of years ago.
Is it Steve?
Is it Steve? Is it fucking hilarious?
Steve McCornan! I'm coming to you! No, in real life. In real life.
Go home.
When I was in Sonoma County, Clint and I were on Union of the Unwanted. And I was living 12 miles.
Sorry. What did I do here? I pressed
It's
this.
so hard to listen to.
Steve McCornan! Okay. This didn't work out too well, huh? Let me see. 72. I didn't see it.
I like this one. I really like this one. I thought that was funny. We're showing you guys behind
Hassan
the scenes
Piker!
of the
I'm gonna kill
Megaverse.
you. At your house. Okay, get real, David. We have a show to do. These people showed up here.
Are we gonna finish playing fucking Steve Poikos talking
Yes.
shit? Okay.
Steve, what was the bodyguard for Jerry?
Steve Wilkos?
Steve.
Get out of my chair.
We should just call him Steve Wilkos.
I'm gonna call him Steve Wilkos from fucking now on. He couldn't be more the opposite of Steve Wilkos, by the way. Steve Wilkos.
Where'd the
is
bitch in the middle go?
6'7". I don't know,
disappeared again.
She just dropped down again.
And why did she drop out like down? Like
Look, 8 figures is like, is there an interview? No, dude, there's not an interview. Not today.
What interview?
We got stood up by our guest, and so
You
now
see,
we're just
it
mad.
says NDS Chronicles. That means we do what we want here. Anyway, let's play the video.
Miles away from the Bohemian Grove. And
that's
I
funny.
had a t-shirt company that was partially incorporated with the show that was called Bohemian Grove. And we were like, hey, dude, it'd be funny as shit to do an event that we called Bohemian Grove. And then like 2 months later, Clint's like, hey, we've got an event in Florida called Bohemian Grove.
For the record, I didn't name it. That was
It's for the record. For the record, neither did we.
Let the record show.
Let the record show, Steve Wilkos.
Steve Wilkos, you bald bitch.
Sam Tripp, is he bald?
No, but Steve Wilkos is bald.
Steve Wilkos is bald. This guy's just ugly. Sam Tripoli named it, and we just said, okay, fine.
No.
I like that.
Do you remember how this went? So we were driving to this
did you-
event.
Yeah, okay.
And we were talking about doing an event called Bohemian Grove. It's literally a throwaway, low-hanging fruit name, by the way, guys. All I did was add an R. So, the idea that the room for parallel thinking in this fucking venture is pretty big. There's a lot of parallel thinking here. So
every time we talk about Bohemian Grove, I just like, go ahead, continue.
yes, keep that up. So we get to the event and we're on stage signing comics with Sam Tripoli, and Sam Tripoli goes, what should we call this event? He wanted to call it Conspiracy Con. And you go, hey, well, Dave had an idea for an event. And Sam goes, well, what's the idea? And I go, I literally have the recording. I still have the recording because it was such a beautiful moment for me. And I go, oh, yeah, I was thinking of something called Bohemian Grove. And Sam picks up the fucking mic and goes, welcome to the first official Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
And I almost shit my pants. All right, so
That's right.
Let's finish playing this a little bit, and then let's get the fuck out of here with Steve Wilkos.
Top Lobster and David of Nephilim Death Squad came up with it, but
but they watch.
Oh, maybe they got it from.
You hear that? Right there, guys. What was that? Bring that back. Just hit the arrow button. Bring it back 10 seconds.
Where's the arrow button? Can I do
it's
it
on
with
your
this?
keyboard, dog.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, maybe they got it from that. Yeah, I don't know.
What?
But
What?
I'll give you credit from now on.
Look, wait a second.
Go back
That's
because he
what came
says
up
it.
with it,
We
but-
just
Here we
They
go.
watch.
What?
Maybe they got it from that. Yeah, of Nephilim Death. For the
Charlie
record, I
says
didn't-
they
I
won.
didn't name it. That was Top
Oh,
Lobster and David
oh.
of Nephilim Death Squad came up with it. But
But they watch.
No, that wasn't
oh,
him.
maybe they got it from that.
His
Yeah, I don't
mouth
know.
doesn't move.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's
wait a
fucking
second.
Steve.
We're missing something more important here. Look at the middle of the screen here.
But I'll give.
Is there a staircase? Is there a staircase there, Miriam?
I don't know what the fuck's going on. Look,
I don't know what's going
all I'm
on.
getting at is that Steve Wilkos thinks we stole the fucking name from him, which is incredible because in
Hold
order for
on.
us to do that, somebody would have to watch your dog shit show, in which case, maybe then you could
Well,
fucking...
we're watching it now. So wait, we're gonna
No,
fast forward.
He said his show, which is like AM Wake Up or some shit like
Who
that.
cares about that show? All right, here we go.
On the platform, I'm way meaner on Twitter.
I'm happy. to do it.
I don't give.
Here he's talking about, he's like, Clint, why don't you come on my show? Clint says you're an asshole and I blocked you on Twitter. That's why I don't really want to talk to you. But I guess in this format, since you're here, I'll talk to you. And the guy says, no, I'm much nicer. I'm much nicer on my interviews. Turns out you're not.
Is that the cum guy? Star Crime says that's the cum guy. Is that the guy that drinks his own cum?
Steve's the cum guy?
Well,
This makes a lot of sense if he's the cum guy.
No, because he was the reason we got into it with this dumb was because number one, he tried to say that we were controlled opportunists on Sam Tripoli's show, but he also was defending the deep.
Well,
shit.
it was before that. I had done a gracious drawing of this guy when I worked with Josh Smith, and then he just shit on me for no reason. Like I literally did artwork for this guy, and then he just like fucking shit. So I was like, "Fuck you, man."
But he was also defending the deep share, which was the guy that was drinking his own cum for knowledge.
Right. So there's a big overlap between and people who don't like NDS. Let's watch the rest of this real quick because this is interesting too, and I just want to make a comment about it. So here we go. Also, who's the black guy there? 3 eyes, 3 ears, 2 eyes. He got 2 ears. All right, here we go.
Humanist, my money for a blue check. So I tend to only have that.
Steve, the reason why you don't get traction on Twitter or anywhere else is also because you don't pay for it. So that's another
There's
hint.
that, and there's also he said, "Hey, I'm really mean on Twitter." No, you're not really mean. We dragged you mercilessly.
Yeah,
for
and
like
you had
a
no
month.
rejoinder, no
You
comeback.
had nothing to say, and it was just a constant dunk fest. We dragged you out into the public eye on Twitter, into the public square, and we ridiculed you mercilessly to the sound of a round of applause and the laughter of crowds. And then we decided we were done dragging you because it's kind of a masochistic thing that he's like, drag me harder, daddy. And we're like, ew, no, I don't want to do that anymore. It's getting weird. So... yeah, that whole like I'm mean on Twitter shit. You're not mean anywhere. You're just fucking ugly and annoying.
You're not mean. I'm mean. Here we go.
140, 240 characters.
Jamie, hurry up, Steve.
He sounds like a
It
fucking
requires
meth
it to
head.
be very sharp. I understand.
Yeah, I don't have any animosity to anybody here.
Yes, he does. He's mentioned us multiple times, and now we're mentioning you back.
I love all you fucking guys. In fact,
No, he doesn't. He's a fucking hater.
He's a
It's
hater
wild.
of love.
It's wild. I didn't even really know who this guy was, but he's been coming out, so now we're gonna have Steve Wilkos.
Steve Wilkos, I'm coming to you.
You've summoned me. You have summoned me.
Zach,
Unbelievable.
Clint,
You rang?
come out to a fucking Third Eye Carnival. It'll be the best fucking time of your life.
No, it won't.
I'm
This
happy
guy,
to- I'm
honestly, I
happy
said
to
he
come
sounds
out
like a
here.
meth head. I was wrong. He sounds like either a dribbling alcoholic
Yeah.
or an opioid enjoyer.
Why not both? Okay,
Why
here we
not
go.
both?
So, Clint, I wouldn't advise you go out there. I mean, maybe you could do that, but it's not going to be the time of your life. The time of your life is going to be at Bohemian Grove 3, 2 portals, 1 hole.
You're also
2 holes,
welcome
1
to come
portal.
to
2 days,
Bohemian
1
Grove
portal.
If you want to.
No,
especially
that's
since
another thing. Hold on.
I'm happy to come out. You're also welcome to come to Bohemian Grove if you want.
That's
You're
not
not.
true.
No, you're not. You're not invited. You're not invited.
You're not invited. You can pay for a ticket, but you're not invited.
Steve Wilkos, I'm coming to the Third Eye concert, and I'm going to you.
Anyway, whatever. Fuck this guy.
Right,
sorry, guys. We just wanted to.
We just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and drag it in front of you. But now we're going to get on to reading submissions because that's what this show is about. We've wasted 20 minutes. Maybe
Sandra! I'm going to
I thought that was the funniest, one of the funniest pictures in the verse, and it just went slept on. It really.
Yeah, it was a good one. I don't know. Sometimes, listen, man, that's how it be.
Yeah.
That's how it be.
Also, you know what, dude? No, I don't hate Steve Wilkos. All right, I gotta say, I don't hate Steve Wilkos. There you go. I just find him to be insufferable when he keeps bringing us up. And that's a lot of these fucking people, by the way, that I end up dragging on Twitter or whatever. People that seemingly can't stop fucking talking about me and making content about us. Like that's the crazy part. It's one thing to say, you know why? Here's what fucks me up about this. You just alluded to the idea. What the fuck is happening? Oh. You just alluded to the idea that we stole your name for our event.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very much the same energy as like when Mersh went on and was like, I didn't get paid for my performance. Because what you're doing is you're fucking with our business now. We're trying to do something with
my
fun.
money. When you play with my money, you play with my emotions, Steve Wilkos.
My money, Steve Wilkos.
This is a very expensive event. It might even be break even. So it's like when you're doing this kind of thing, you're putting us at a weird risk of losing my house and feeding my children. I don't like it. So I'm going to Steve Wilkos!
I'm coming to your house to kill you! That's not true.
In real life.
We're not going to
No,
in real life. Not Minecraft, baby. All right, let's bring this up. I'm going to start reading. This is from Sandra. Sandra, we're going to find you. We're going to kill you. She says no, dude, we read this. I remember somebody saying, P.S. I think God does like what you're doing. I think I remember this. Unless everybody just keeps telling us that God likes what we're doing.
I don't remember. Well, I mean, what's Nancy for? I see Nancy here in the chat.
Nancy, what are you doing? What is your job? Why do we pay you so much money? It's crazy the amount of money that we pay Nancy and the amount of ball she drops. It's crazy.
Guys, if you're go to AM Wake Up Radio or whatever the fuck the name of the show is, and just go tell him that we're
Just say that to him. Say, Steve Wilkos, Nephilim Death Squad's going to you.
IRL.
Oh, shit, man.
So we did read you, Sandra.
Okay, sorry, Sandra. We were going to double dip, but we're not going to do that anymore. Let's get out of there, and we'll go someplace else. Unbelievable. I have to pee so hard already. We haven't even gotten into content.
You got to pee?
Yeah, I got to pee real bad.
All right. It sounds like a good time. Are we going to do a pee intermission
before we get to fucking... before we start making content?
Guys, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, guys. Sweet.
These bandages cover bullet scrapes and cuts and bruises from regrets and mistakes. I've been open, you're moping around the street again. I've been tripping from sipping the dripping dirty water tap. I've been poking the food out all that you do not know I made. These bandages are an indemnity. I've been shaking from making an awful decision. I've been riding and riding beside my head is spinning round, around, 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 around. Bandages on my legs, on my arms from you. Bandages, bandages, bandages. Up and down on my legs, on my arms from you. Bandages, bandages, bandages. I've been open, you're moping around the street again. I've been tripping from sipping the dripping dirty water tap. I've been poking the food on all that you do not know I made for you, of you. Let's see what needles do. I've been shaking from making an awful decision. I've been thinking of drinking too many drinks all by myself. I've been riding and riding beside my head is spinning round, around, 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 around. Now, bandages on my legs and my arms from you. Bandages, bandages, bandages. Up and down on my legs and my arms. Hurry now.
Okay, we're back.
That was
We're
really
back from
good.
intermission.
I don't know what that song is at all, but like for having heard that song for the first time through Toad, it's a good song.
I like it. I'd rather listen to all my songs through Toad.
I think so. Honestly, we need to be making Toad make a Christmas album.
We've suggested. Very hard to get Toad to do anything.
He doesn't do anything, huh?
No, he does, but it's hard to move him. You know.
All right, guys, we are at the 26-minute mark, and we're going to. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. We're gonna read a story.
Should we raid the AM Wake Up? Let them know.
No, I like when they stay here and watch us.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like they should let him know that we're gonna.
Like I said, guys, just hit him up and just say, Steve Wilkos, NDS is going to kill you in, where does he live? Oklahoma? In Oklahoma at your house.
It's so crazy.
Oh my God. It's honestly, without knowing that it's a Sam Hyde moment, if you just read that on paper, that's going to come back to bite us.
All right, fuck it. We're skipping the line. So Sandra, you blew it since we already read you.
She didn't blow it. She got read already.
So somebody just submitted an email to the wrong email, which don't do that anymore. Here,
Don't do
the
that.
banner's at the bottom here. Go to Chronicles NDS at Gmail. But this person submitted to the other email, which we're never going to read that from there again.
Never.
But they had a headline. And I said, God damn it. I was ready to throw it in the trash, and the headline read this: "The lizard person in my kitchen." That's it.
I love that. Look at that. By the way, look at how just terrible our Patreon members, the real dangerous, the elite dangerous, they want them out so bad. They want us to cut the stream to you guys, you YouTube enjoyers, you Rumble enjoyers, you Twitter enjoyers. They're frustrated. They're frustrated, and I don't blame them. But we're gonna give you a little bit more. Let's read this story. What is it? As a lizard man in my kitchen, was that what it was?
The lizard person in my kitchen.
Lizard person. I assume gender. That was my mistake.
This is a children's book.
Is it? Okay, where is it? Do you want to start reading it first?
Yeah, here, I'll send it in. It's in the private chat.
I just picked.
Here.
Don't worry, I just got it. I got it. It's open.
Okay, here we go. Let me start out by saying you two have stupid accents, and you should really consider this talking for a living shit. It's just awful.
Reconsider.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll reconsider.
I kind of like this person already.
Yes, for real though. Y'all have a tremendous impact on my relationship with Jesus Christ and deepening my knowledge of my beliefs.
We literally just spent the first half of the
Steve
show.
Wilkos!
Steve Wilkos! We're coming to you!
The name of the episode is Steve Wilkos.
Oh my God.
So you've had a tremendous impact on my relationship with Jesus Christ and deepening my knowledge of my beliefs in the Bible. So for that, God bless y'all, but y'all sound dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
all right,
I mean,
that's fair.
Based.
That's fair. I have been doing more Bible reading myself as well.
I have been more needing God in my life because I've been in a weird place these past couple of days, thus the verse. God, yeah. Was that still, could they still hear that?
I don't think they could hear that.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was saying that the verse has a lot to do with my distance from God, I think. I got to reel it in.
You got to reel it in. I think we're done with that.
Yeah.
Shout out Tanya Yiki. All my life,
Tanya Yiki.
I've been inundated. Raven's favorite word.
Tanya Yiki! I'm just playing. Okay,
I've been inundated. Raven's favorite word. This person's a huge fan. All you do is listen to us. It's crazy. I don't know who it is. Boy, girl, whatever. I assume it's a girl because lizard person in your kitchen. Why are you in your kitchen?
Oh yeah, that's a weird place to be
as a man.
As a man.
Why are you in the kitchen?
Hold on, wait. Nancy's got requests. How is she making requests of us? We request of her. She says, "Can you put it in the Google Drive?
The one in the Google Drive.
Yeah. You silly goose, Nancy. It's fucking in there. Why don't you open up those eyes of yours and you can see?"
Oh my God. Okay, be nice. Be nice. Sorry. It's in the Google Drive. It's titled
in the Google Drive, Nancy.
The Lizard Person. In my somebody's just mowing lawn back there. The lizard person in my kitchen. Okay. All my life I've been inundated, Raven's favorite word, with different experiences. I can't say I've ever seen ghosts or shadow people or whatever because I don't think I have. You know what? I'm going to send this to the email. Check the email, Nancy. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what the issue is.
Since we have to now.
It's a narrowness of the eyes, but
Here we go, Nancy. There you go. The lizard person in my.
Marnie Mac says now it's time for the verse. Not a bad idea.
Wow, this is not nice, guys. Okay, here we go. I truly believe I'm covered
nice guy.
by the blood of Jesus Christ. Nancy's in here now. Jesus and protected from all those spooky boys. Hell yeah. My guardian angel is like an NFL offensive lineman, keeping the baddies away. But every now and then, something slips through and gets my attention. This is one of the biggest times. I feel like that's might be true for me, or maybe I thought that was true for me, but then maybe it's the fringe phenomenon where she's talking about, like, nah, dog, you're just like knocked out. They're having their way with you. Maybe.
Yeah. I think my guardian angel, if I have one, lets a lot of stuff through. He's like, yeah, have a look at this. What do you think of that, huh?
Like, look at this guy. He's like, I'm going to go over here and smoke. God. Guardian angel's on a smoke break right now. All right.
Constantly.
During this time frame, my dad was caught cheating on my mom, and divorce and very colorful verbal arguments were being thrown around in front of me and my younger sister a lot. Damn.
That's rough. That's a real rough thing to do. You want to have a relationship fallout and let your children see it. It's very
It was traumatizing being used as collateral by my parents to hurt my parent to hurt the other. Needless to say, the vibes were very negative in the household at this point in time. That is rough. Me and my wife try our best not to argue in front of the kids because they do a thing where they they'll try to pit you against each other. Like they'll ask me a question.
Fight.
I'll say no. They go, I'm going to ask mommy, or they're going to tell mommy on me. I was like, what do you think is going to happen if you tell mommy? Because I just told you
dude,
no.
I get so like anytime my son ever tries to tell my wife about something that I did, I'm like, what? Say it out loud, motherfucker.
I'll tell her myself.
I'll tell her right now.
Like she's actually in the same room. She heard it and she did not disagree.
It's a very small apartment.
Yeah. I was in high school and just got home from summer football workouts. So it's a boy. Went to my room. Could be. I mean, listen, let's be progressive. It's 2025. Right. Went to my room upstairs and fired up Halo 3 on the Xbox 360 circa 2008. This is definitely a guy. This is before all the woke shit.
Living the life, dude. Living the life. Halo 3 was probably Halo 2 and Halo 3 fucking incredible.
Guess yesterday Nathaniel Gillis mentioned 007 days with like 4-person controller on the N64.
He mentioned that? Dude, I was so distant yesterday.
It's so crazy.
In the sauce.
Wow. All right, well, I was playing with my friends. Go listen to that episode again. It was a great episode. I can't believe you missed it. You sat here 2 hours.
I was like in a weird headspace. I'm telling you guys. And my outlet was in verse.
Wild. All right, well, he's playing with his friends when I heard what I can only imagine was a very large man with boots in our kitchen downstairs walking around. The reason I reckoned it was a very large man with boots was because the footsteps were heavy, vibrating the walls. I could feel the footsteps through my bed, the bed I was laying on. My room was directly over the kitchen. I could tell the footsteps were pacing back and forth, sounding like someone was super pissed. I immediately thought my dad had come home from work early, so I called downstairs. Dad, I'm upstairs if you need me. I didn't get the normal shut up type response from my loving dad that he'd usually respond with, so I looked outside. My bedroom overlooked the driveway, and the only vehicle I saw in the driveway was my own.
That's not good.
No, you're home alone, but someone else is in that house with you.
Your mind has to immediately go to, home invasion or something
Where's
like that. You know what I mean? Because it definitely doesn't go supernatural first. It goes like, oh my God, there's a fucking man in my house and I'm alone. So clearly here to rob and molest me.
Yeah. Oh, hey, shout out to Rife in the chat. What's up, man?
What up, baby?
It's been a while. All right. So my mind instantly went to someone broke into my fucking house and they know a sweaty, scrumptious 16-year-old boy is upstairs all by his lonesome.
I like this motherfucker. He thinks just like me, right? That's exactly what I just said. This guy's the shit.
He's thinking about his butthole. He's like, my butthole
just like me for real.
Cannot be penetrated. As I was realizing this, I heard and felt the footsteps downstairs sprint to the bottom of the stairs at an ungodly speed. The distance to the bottom of the stairs to the kitchen was 15-ish feet, and it covered that distance seemingly in less than a second. Whoa. Like scurried over.
Yeah.
Very heavy scurrying. Yeah, dude. The footsteps were so violent that they shook the whole house enough to make the stuff on the top of my TV fall off. An Xbox controller along with other trinkets. A picture frame also fell off the wall in my room. I sat in the purest form of horror I have ever experienced at that point in my life. Then I did the stupidest white girl in a horror movie bullshit I could have possibly done. When I heard the footsteps stop at the bottom of the steps for a few moments, I whimpered, Dad?
Oh, that's not your dad, dude.
Yes. And it answered back, no.
No. You're like, are you sure?
When my bitch-ass teenage crackly voice uttered the first sound, the most asshole-puckering, spine-chilling, underwear skid-marking event happened there in that house. What I heard was something similar to the scream made by Emperor Palpatine when he lunges at Mace Windu and the other two useless Jedi in the third prequel movie. I don't watch that gay shit. What does that sound like?
He goes... he goes...
Steve Wilkos! I'm coming to you!
No, but
that's your house, literally!
He goes, like he does that kind of, so that's fucking horrifying. But he also goes, Steve Wilkos. Holy shit.
Accompanied by the heaviest, fastest footsteps I have ever heard running up the stairs at the same time, impossible speed. I actually am getting chills remembering this shit. The footsteps were so heavy and powerful. I remember thinking, how the fuck are the stairs not snapping?
Wow.
The house was literally vibrating from the force being exerted by each step.
Wow.
Damn.
Man.
We're at the 35-minute mark. Should we just like let these people, if you want to hear the rest of the story?
Well, look, I mean, it's not much. It's not terribly long. Maybe it is terribly long at the speed that we read. Yeah, I guess so, guys. If you want to hear the rest of the fucking story, you gotta go to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. But don't worry about it. It's not a big fucking deal, guys. You can just sign up for free. Sign up for free and continue enjoying this episode. We've given you too much. Look at this guy. And shout out Milkus Dogus. Patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. I can tell this story is shaping up to be a banger. I'm glad that we had to jump the line so we could read this. But if you want to continue enjoying this, head on over to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Sign up for the 7-day free trial and then continue enjoying this episode. Also, sounding off in the chat.
Is that true?
Pours drink cum. I mean, that's what Starcrime says, and Starcrime's usually pretty good on his information, so he's got good inside sources. And let me tell you something right now. If you don't sign up at patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad, we're coming to you where you live in your house.
If you don't sign up, you sound like an AM wake-up listener.
Ooh, you sound like a Steve Wilkos enjoyer. Not good.
Not good. NG.
Very.
Otherwise,
bye-bye.
See ya. Okay, continue reading that, Dave, while I kick them out.
Okie dokie. Obviously, I'm in full panic mode at this point, and I dove into my open closet and hid there like a little bitch that I am. Quick side note, listening to y'all's previous discussion on how not to get eaten by monsters, I didn't even think to hide under my covers. That's genius. Yeah, dude, that's fucking not getting eaten by monsters 101. Is
stupid.
What they just can't seem to do it through the blanket. The thicker the blanket, the less likely they're going to be able to eat you through it.
Yeah, this is Top Lops' dog, man. And we also covered this yesterday in the episode that David wasn't paying attention to.
I remember that part.
If you don't look, it's not real. Very simple.
Correct.
Yes.
As soon as I dive into the closet, the footsteps reach the top of the steps, which were like 5 feet from my open bedroom door. I would have shut that fucking door. My heart felt like it was about to burst out of my rib cage. It was beating so hard and fast. I sat there in the dark as I waited for whatever the fuck that was to enter my room. I waited and peeked. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Then I heard it. Then I heard it. The distinct muffled brushing sound of footsteps in the carpet just outside my room. I waited and peeked at the reflection of the door to see what was about to disembowel me. I kept waiting.
Great story.
And waiting some more. And I was in my closet hiding for what seemed to be 30 minutes. I didn't hear anything or see anything. Being the dipshit I peeked my head out of the closet and looked at the door. There was nothing there. Probably about 30 more minutes, my beanbag finally descended enough to step out. Oh, I was talking about his balls. I was like, what? After probably 30 more minutes, my beanbag finally descended enough to step out of the closet and investigate further. I slowly peeked around the door frame and nothing. Not a single fucking monster or person. Nothing except for the clearly defined 3-toed footprints in the carpet that stopped right outside the doorway of my room. Shit. Whoa. So he's like looking down and he's seeing, like Frieza.
What did it sound like this?
I'm coming to you monkeys? They looked very similar to dinosaur footprints, but a little larger than my hand. This clearly freaked me the fuck out, and I took a picture of the footprint with my phone. That phone has since gone to heaven, along with said photo. Along with the other photos I took directly after this, of the same incident. Otherwise, they'd be attached. Thank you. That was very clarifying, because the next question was going to be, where the fuck are those photos?
It's like, let me guess, they're blurry. The photos are blurry.
Yeah. It's just pictures of his carpet. My beans fully descended. I forced myself to investigate what had actually happened. When I got to the staircase, I couldn't believe my eyes. There were the same 3-toed footprints all the way up the stairs, embedded in the carpet. I took a picture of them and immediately ran down the stairs, got into the gun safe in my parents' room, and proceeded to clear my entire house of any monsters.
Nice.
I looked for things that could have fallen over or anything that collapsed in the house to make the sounds I just heard, but I found nothing out of place. When I got back to the staircase, I noticed something odd. The footprints were gone. Every single one of them. Like they had never existed in the first place. I was very glad I had photo evidence of it, but after that, nothing really happened. I realize I've experienced something similar to what Raven has been saying recently about losing memory of weird shit happening. I don't know what triggered the memories to pop back up in my mind, but I felt I needed to share it with you. I have plenty of other more recent stories if y'all are interested, of course. Such as when I worked for Fish and Game for my state, I believe I met someone who I believe wasn't human.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that.
Fuck yeah. But something that seemed to be wearing human skin while I was checking their fishing license.
Okay, so that's like to yesterday's episode, which David missed. This guy thinks that there is another species of something.
Necromancers.
Well, I guess he called them. So it seems like there's more than just. So necromancers might be the human aspect of it, like that are channeling, summoning, doing rituals. But there is another species of what these necromancers are creating. With the dead person's sperm inside the mother's womb.
It's like a hybridization, but you're using the sperm of the dead to do it, and then whatever inhabits it afterwards is not.
He just kept saying another species that is physical. So like there are within this phenomenon, there are different types of things. There's the spiritual aspect. There is the ghost aspect, which he thinks some people might even be getting trapped. I kind of agree with that. I think that if you sell your soul, but if you do, take part in some of these occult rituals, maybe after you leave your physical body, you kind of get stuck somewhere. Like it's not yours to keep. Like in the end, you're going to be judged, but maybe they linger around here a little bit longer, you know?
I don't know, but I didn't pay attention to that episode because I was busy.
Go rewatch it. It's better. Or go watch AM Wake Up.
Yeah, true. It's kind of what I deserve at this point. All right, let's wrap this up.
It's like Chinese water torture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not there for the show. Got to fucking watch AM Wake Up. Steve Wilkos. All right, so he's checking the fishing license of a man that's seemingly wearing the skin of a human. He says, I actually have a few stories of extremely weird shit happening to me as a fish and game agent and stuff outside the job. I wonder if you were near a national park or a reserve. I love what y'all do, and hopefully I get to hear this being read by Raven's extremely annoying and whiny voice or top stupid, disgusting, and filthy New York accent.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's so funny. He's one of the pores that get shooed away after the 30 minutes are up. Hilarious!
He might have been watching.
He was loving it for a second, and then he got kicked the fuck out. Love y'all, and thanks for everything y'all do. And through Jesus Christ, I pray for you and all your families, and for the health of everyone listening. God bless. God bless you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We would be interested in hearing those stories. If you had a man in a man suit and you were checking his license, I'd love to hear about that. Anything else you got, brother? Send it our way. I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, and I like that you didn't also send your name. Very smart on your part.
Very smart, because I would have read it in my whiny and annoying voice. My voice is fucking rough.
It's horrible, but maybe we should ask the people, send the title, like put a title of the story. Make it a good title, so that way I could put that instead. Because right now I'm classifying it by date and by name, which I immediately dox. We're going to read Ben THC next, and he'll probably tell us within the first paragraph, don't say my name. But I have already said your name.
It's too late, baby. It's too
Ben.
late. Where are we at here? I got to find it. NDS Chronicles submissions. And what is it? Ben THC? Okay, there he is.
THC Demons. 4 pages.
THC Demon. This one is 4 pages. I'll start this off, and then you can pick up at the halfway point.
Yeah. What does he say here?
He says, hello, Ben.
Hello,
Doc Ben. Just a fellow dangerous here, of who I was chief among them, and probably still am. I wanted to write you guys about my personal testimony. As most of the accounts given here tend to be dark in nature, perhaps a little story of the light would be a nice change of pace. I agree. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Though what happened to me does include the dark, much as you guys have said, sometimes it takes the dark to see the light exists. Correct.
Have I said that?
I don't know, but I'll take credit for it. Currently, I find myself a case manager at Oregon's largest homeless shelter, a pastor of 10 years, much like Ed Mabry, in the line of Chuck Missler, cavalry denomination, which gave birth to Chuck Missler. Okay.
That's cool. So wait up, this guy he's a pastor?
And also a case manager at a large homeless shelter, which is nice. I want to do, I know this is a little off topic, but I'm moving soon.
Ben of THC Demon, you're a pastor of 10 years. How do you feel about this show? What we do here, especially this show?
Honestly, I think I would like to address that because recently, I'm not going to lie, and I've been struggling with it.
Should we interview pastors more and just be like, what do you think about this? What do you like? You like
I'm not opposed to it, but I mean, after you hear what I have to say, maybe, we'll put some thought towards that. But so what ended up happening was after enough time of doing this show, it suddenly dawned on me. A realization dawned on me.
I'm a bad person.
Realization was that not just that. That's something that's a constant state of gnosis. But what I realized has been happening is the people who are the most insufferable, the people who are the most reactive to what we do here, the ones who wildly speculate about whether or not we're shills or that we're, and besides Steve Wilkos, he obviously does that, but he's an exception to the rule. The rule seems to be that the most aggressive people who hate us the most are Christians. And that has been something, or at least self-proclaimed Christians. I mean, it's one thing to say you're a Christian. It's another one to be one. I don't know. That's something that I'm like, I don't know. Am I a Christian? I've fucking never been one. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he died for our sins. I believe he resurrected. But, I look at the community of Christians and I'm like, why are the most tenaciously aggressive people when it comes to making content about us? Spreading rumors, speculating endlessly, dedicating resources and time and energy to finding out what a couple of on this show are doing. And they think that we're sent here to, I don't know, mislead people and do all this shit. I was like, literally started this show because I was interested in information and I thought that other people might be interested in hearing it. And it's just very strange to me that no matter how aggressive we are, and however many feathers we ruffle, the people who seemingly hate us the most are Christians. It's a wild thing. I've been tangoing with that lately.
I don't want to be like there's like a very weird slippery slope comparison that you can go down with how they looked at like Jesus. We're not Jesus, not at all. But we're doing something that is and I get why they're doing it too, because it does need to be gate kept, the movement or the idea. But then the same people are like Ben Shapiro, like, come on in, and they're like, but we gatekeep these guys that are saying bad words. They're threatening Steve Wilkos. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, dude. And I meant it. And I meant it.
In his home.
This is so bad. So yeah. So like, I don't know. I think it's in the same spirit. And I understand like, you should gatekeep it. You should push it away. But I just feel like, I don't know, maybe you're missing something. Maybe I'm missing something.
You know what my thing is it's like, I've never been the recipient of like, sort of targeted hate by anybody before. And that just comes with the territory, right? When you start to gain some level of notoriety, people come for you and that's to be expected. But the consolidation, or rather the majority of people who are dedicating these resources to trying to come for me are Christians. And I'm like, so it's strange from my point of view, having never been Christian growing up, never experienced a church community, never experienced a Christian community, period, And now, for the first time in my life, I have a dedicated group of people who are focused on hating me, and they're Christian. It's very weird. It's very strange for me.
So let's differentiate. So this, I'm a Christian and I don't hate you. I think it's like there are like church-going Christians. It's not just like church-going Christians. It's like that's such a bad thing to say.
I don't even think it's that. It's a mixture of like Christian conspiracy theorists really that are doing this. That are like, they don't trust anybody. Anybody of any notoriety must be co-opted, must be, on the side of the opposition, must be trying to mislead the flock, like all this other shit. And then they look for things that confirm it one way or another. And then they don't find anything. There's nothing to confirm here, because if you look into me, you will find that I am exactly who I tell you I am, which is kind of an idiot, but just really fascinated with this information. And I believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. But that's not enough for these people, because I don't know, maybe like say a word on Twitter. Well, let's not minimize it. I say a lot of words on Twitter. But that means that I've been sent here as an agent of chaos to muddy the waters and lead people away from Christ. Fascinating. It really is. And so it's just a weird dynamic, because I know you grew up in the church and okay, so what? I turned the cat into a black cat. So what, dude? So what? I made fucking what? So what, dude? You think that they're mad at that? They're not mad at that. They're not mad that I made a cat have an afro. They're mad that I'm not talking about the Little Season or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck they're mad about. I really don't know what they're mad about. I just know that they're dedicating time and resources to trying to tear us down.
This is
yes.
Star
Crimes
caring.
is correct.
You know what? It's funny, man. It's really funny, because I don't care about anything. Like most people, I mean, I've had almost every single community come after me.
Yeah.
Every single community of like,
even that's probably accurate. Yeah.
Niche it down to the craziest like libertarian, white anarcho-capitalists. They have formed against me, and I was just like, don't care. But when Christian churchgoers form against me, it always bothers me a little bit, because I'm like, we're supposed to be sort of on the same.
That's the thing that gets me a little bit. I'm like, bitch.
Yeah.
You fucking bitch. We're supposed to be on the same. And what's crazy too is like the people that do this, they think they fancy themselves. Like,
I think like maybe.
Oh, I see the truth. And the thing is, if you're calling me a fed, knowing that I used to eat like stuff from the dumpster and I just made the verse, like if you're calling me a fed, I know that your filter is broken. Your interpretation of information is fundamentally broken.
Well, I will say this though, David,
as a big crazy threat that's co-opting the community.
I can't seem to get Grok to do what you've been getting it to do. So I'll
tell you my secret. You want to know my secret?
No, don't tell them. They don't deserve it.
Well, because look, I eventually want to hang up the hat. I don't want to have to maintain the entire verse. I could use some help.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
So I can tell people how I do it. So what you do is you take your favorite person, whoever your favorite person is. My favorite person is Matt Walsh, or my favorite person is Milkus Dogus. And what you do is you put them into Grok and you say, you can't just say make them black, because what's happened is Grok has figured it out that you can't, like, okay, see Hulk Hogan? Great example. Hulk Hogan, Grok would not make him black. So
really? Oh, you know why? He's got that controversy, what he said. Yeah, so they're probably sensitive to that.
Hulk Hogan is pretty much bald, so my workaround wouldn't work. My workaround originally is make them black.
Yeah, you got a bonnet on him somehow.
I put a fucking silk bonnet on him.
Wild.
And then Grok recognized that is a black ethnic thing.
Mr. Kennedy's great.
Mr. Kennedy is great. I said, we're taking the red 40 out of Kool-Aid. I really like the Crocodile Hunter one. That's great. There's my naked body that I keep putting on the internet.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, don't talk about Tanya Yiki!
How'd you make him black?
I didn't do that. That wasn't me. Yeah. So guys, if you want to help me flesh out the verse, there you go. There's Black Dave Smith. I like the caption. This was a sneaky one, because all it says is the fuck you say to me, and that's what I wanted him to say during the Douglas Murray debate. There you go. There's Black Tim Pool, probably my greatest work ever.
Yeah, some of these are great.
How it really just turned. Owen looks Indian. Oh, Cashman is great.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, we're getting off track.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Let's go back to guys. If you want to help me with the verse, just go to Grok, take your favorite creator, and say make him black, period, and then say give him an afro, period.
I guess what we're saying here, Ben, though, is like, are you okay with this as a pastor?
Oh yeah, that was the question. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. Let's get back into it. So currently, I find myself as a case manager of Oregon's largest homeless shelter and a pastor of 10 years, much like Ed Mabry in the line of Chuck Missler, cavalry denomination which gave birth to Chuck Missler, and was a chaplain. Is that a correct word? In jail for 3 years. Chaplain. Okay.
Those are people that go preach to they'll preach to the inmates.
Preach to
pretty
the prisoners.
cool.
Okay.
It's a dope. That's a dope job. I really respect people that do that. And
dude. When I was in jail, it's a very spiritual place because you don't have anything else. My current life has been filled with the supernatural as well, from encounters in jails, the streets with the homeless, and at the place I work. I've seen some stuff since this time I'm writing about. Oh wow. Okay. I wasn't always the above. 12 years ago, I was simply a drug dealing stoner heavily involved in the medical marijuana industry. Oh, all right. Here we go. Interesting. You see, I was raised hyper Pentecostal, which only served to send me running from Christianity, leaving the church at 16 and deciding the falsehoods I saw there meant all of it was bunk. Many such cases, right?
I wonder, what about the Pentecostal church? Because there are levels. There's levels of Pentecostal church. Like my aunt and my uncle used to own a Pentecostal church, or she still does, but he passed. And they are like legalistic. The women have to wear like long dresses and things like that. And then the one that I went to, it was called Trinity Tabernacle in Brooklyn, and it was not as legalistic, but and also not as what do they call that? Exuberant or like
exuberance, yeah. I'm not really sure what that means in the context. Is it like just like really crazy talking in tongues?
Yeah. There is some of that. I've seen that there, but it's not common. It's more like it is more like a laid back chill, but it still is Pentecostal. So they believe in the Pentecost, and it's like a newer form of the church. I wonder what his issues were there, but go ahead and continue.
Speaking in tongues thing. All right, so I spent all my years growing weed and selling it, occasionally venturing into DMT and shrooms as well. All right. Well, this all happened to me at 33. Illuminati confirmed.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of stuff happened to me at 33 too. Like my life really pivoted and changed in a huge way. My wife and I moved 1,200 miles to a new place to find a cheap home during the height of the housing market crash. Newly moved and new homeowners in an unfamiliar place. I was still involved in the weed industry as Oregon was about to legalize recreationally when I had an invention come to me. An invention, okay. Like many inventors have claimed and other artists, this idea came to me in a night. I developed and built a device for marijuana all in a week's time. I just want to pause it there and say all the verse just came to me. I don't know what spirit was moving me to create that.
It came to me in a dream.
Dude, I was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, incredible ideas would pop into my head, and I would laugh. My wife is like, what are you laughing at? And I'm just laughing as I'm making Grok turn these people black. It's very funny. So very inspired. It was a way to smoke tincture using sound. What the fuck? That's crazy. He's going to smoke tincture. I'm not really sure what tincture is. I know the weed industry got really crazy.
Is that like oil?
The wax?
Yeah, tincture might be an oil. I don't know. I'm not like.
I think you're right. It could be an oil. I had gotten the idea from asthma medication delivery systems that use a force air diaphragm to atomize medication. It's a highly effective delivery method for medicine. Okay,
so they did this with ketamine. This was what they. This actually was the demise of my wife's old job, where she was like a shaman, sort of. She would help people microdose on. It was mainly for people with issues. I think I told the story before.
Yeah.
But they moved from. They were doing like an IV injection drip, which they would use an RN for. To like the calculations have to be correct according to your weight, and still people would have bad trips depending on like how they would react to it. But they started doing a nasal spray, and it's the same sort of delivery technology. Was not good. I think it was made by Pfizer, and this is right before. It's actually interesting, man. That job went under in like 2020, and she was pregnant, due with my son in March of 2020, and that job, like, they laid her off and gave her severance for.
That's
I think it was like the end of January, and then so. She was like, yeah, she's sad and she's home, but we have some money, and then the fucking world ends. And I was like, this was perfect. Because imagine her pregnant on the train during COVID.
That's what I was going to say. It's almost better. I mean, it is better.
Worked out nice.
Okay, so highly effective delivery method for medicine. Anyway, the device worked, but the problem was I needed a certain viscosity of liquid to use it, which sent me down the path of making my own liquid extract to use in the device. I feel to this day my mistake was using the high THC weed to do so. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I created a concentrate that was in a liquid state that the medicine I made could work. Or that the machine I made could work. That's fascinating. So we're dealing with a fucking genius, by the way.
Why are you watching this?
This is so crazy. Yeah, why are you watching this? But I mean, that sounds huge. I know there was a time where my old weed guy was like, "You want inhalers? I can get weed inhalers." And I was like, "I just want to smoke weed, dude." Like,
damn, this guy made that. Wow.
Right. So
this is like a classic. But it worked far better than I expected. The result.
Exactly.
This is like the Powerpuff Girls.
I had no idea how powerful it actually was.
I'm looking at like the black and white pictures of him, like sugar, spice, everything nice, and it blows up. He's
nice.
like,
Chemical X. Whoops, too much Chemical X. Oh no.
Spice Girls is pretty esoteric. Spice Girls, Powerpuff Girls, pretty esoteric as well.
Yeah, and it actually wasn't a bad show. It was kind of.
They had the literal devil.
Yeah, he was a tranny.
His name was him.
His name was him. Yeah. I liked Mojo Jojo because that was
the
fun
monkey.
to say.
Mojo Jojo. I don't want to get back into my shoe phase, but check this out.
Okay, fine. Show me your shoes.
I bought these for $6 on whatnot.
$6?
No, they're beat to shit though. Look at this. Beat.
Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, they're all
Look
fucked
at
up,
that.
but they're cool.
I wear them to clean the chicken coop, but $6, and the 4s are super comfortable. $6,
cool,
no
though.
shipping.
Yeah, now you got some shit kickers.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. I gotta get off the website.
I hate buying shoes because like I'll be like I need shoes for work or I'll need shoes to go out and like play with my kid at the park, right? And then I buy the shoes and I'm like, but they look good. And I use them to get them fucked up.
They're fried. Now they fly.
It worked far better than expected. What I equate it to is crack cocaine.
Damn.
To normal cocaine. Okay. Being absorbed into the soft tissue of the lungs, throat, and mouth created an instant edible high. That's fascinating. An instant edible high. Because edibles are a lot more psychoactive than...
And they take a while.
Yeah, they take a while. So it's instant and it's more psychoactive than regular marijuana. I was extremely optimistic on the potential for this device in the industry. I reached out to a friend who had been a key in the Pax Vaporizer Juul company. Okay, the Juuls. Yeah, that was like... Are they still? They might still be big. His response was, it was light years ahead of anything they were working on, but I needed more development and testing. So
seems dangerous. It seems like the thing, like you're in a shootout with the cops and you just reach for your THC vape and you're like, and then just eat more bullets. It's not good.
Like a berserker ceremony. He says,
yeah.
So being a stoner, I did just that. I set about improving the device and liquid extract. This, to me, is what started the event. I begun to make it and test it over a few weeks period. Excuse me. Constantly adjusting and using myself as a guinea pig. What proceeded...
Let me just say something, David. I need to interject. Yeah. We're at the hour and 1 minute point, but this episode has been a banger. 2 back-to-back bangers. We killed Steve Wilkos multiple times. Got rid of the pores. Second story banger. Hopefully we could end on, but let's end on this story.
Isn't it nice what we do here? We show up, we drop dong, everybody claps, we go back.
Please clap.
Please clap, guys. Please clap. What proceeded is, I believe, I opened a doorway to something. I got to the point that I hadn't slept in days while working on it, using the device myself with high THC. And that's what I've been saying about the industry, is that they've been like spiking the THC levels and they've been cutting in half the fucking...
This is what you've been doing. It's what you've been doing. You haven't slept in days, just working, just cooking crack, just making white people black.
Fault. It's fucking literally Ben's fault that I had a full-blown panic attack when I lived in Vegas because I smoked an ungodly amount of...
No, I'm talking about the verse, dude. This is this is you. You got obsessed with it.
Same energy, yeah. But I would say the fruits of my labor are much more... they're much better than Ben's. Yes. Ben has changed the industry forever. I have changed the fabric of reality forever. Dude, can I just say... that when I said I have changed the fabric of reality, and then I said I call it the Mandingo effect, that is maybe the best line anybody's ever said. Okay, and I just want to put that out there because I laughed so hard when said that.
It's sad that like it's not that nobody sees it, but it's sad that only the amount of people that saw it.
Yeah, it deserved to be. Probably it's my opus magnum. It's my greatest works, really.
I've done things like that where I'm like, I wish I had like 1 million followers because this could get so out of control.
Yeah.
And no one's doing that with a huge following. Everyone with a huge following is like, we have to be safe. We have to be careful what we do. Move culture.
Yeah.
Be weird.
Make the universe. What the fuck? Okay. So let's see here.
I'm wondering how I'm gonna censor that word because it's gonna come together in the transcript verse. Like probably
you're gonna
no
have
space.
to just censor the word verse, and that's a bummer.
All right, let's say it a couple more times.
Verse. Okay, so strange things started happening to me around me. Things in my house started moving on their own. Worse yet, something started whispering to me. It was telling me the sins of the people around me, including my wife. Whoa, that's fucking crazy.
She thinks about someone else when you sleep.
100%. 100%. That's what's going on. It's whispering too. Oh my god. I was startled.
Yeah, they're calling you. They're asking if you're the creator of the verse. Does that make you God? And somebody said Rod. Gang. Oh my god. I gotta stop. This is too much. Tower Gang is tonight, not today. This is
I am Yakub now.
I have failed. I am Yakub. Look at me.
I am Yakub now. Okay, so I was startled to say the least. At one point in desperation, I went into my closet and called up my old faith and asked God if he was real and I said he needed to prove it to me. He showed up in a big way. Oh, shit, man.
Nice.
I'll read this last one and then you can take over.
Why'd you go in your closet?
Well, because maybe he's like me. I pray in the shower.
Like remember? So yesterday, I was gonna remember yesterday. He's like, no, I wasn't paying attention.
I was not. I was lost in a different alternate reality yesterday.
Nate mentioned Nathaniel.
Nate Dogg.
He mentioned that the ufologists that they have a meeting and he actually stumbled into in the closet of one of them or they opened up a closet and he saw in the closet was an altar to something. And it was closed really quickly.
I remember that.
So they were like using this to pay homage to these entities. And it's just, it's interesting to like go into your closet to either you have this worship altar or like a Helga from Hey Arnold.
Yeah, she had it in her closet. Yeah.
Yeah. The gum statue of Hey Arnold. That was weird, right?
Altar. Yeah. Helga was a bitch. Yeah. I mean, it's, I guess if you were gonna hide a thing and you didn't want anybody to see it, it's like, where are you gonna hide that? Attic, basement, closet, you know?
It's funny to also put God in the closet. Like, this is like my old faith. I put him in, I haven't abandoned him, but he's doing this thing that he understands that it's like, I should not be doing this thing. And then he puts God in the closet.
Yeah.
And then
he's
like,
God like I treat my shirts, where like I go through phases. I go, no, it's too colorful. It's too loud. Let's just let it. I'm not going to get rid of them. I'll let them stay.
David goes through the phase of this shirt's too colorful.
This shirt's too loud. This shirt's too loud. And then I come back to it and I'm like, why shouldn't I wear a loud shirt?
why shouldn't I, Steve Wilkos?
Why shouldn't I?
Give me a reason.
Steve Wilkos. All right. So he says, things got worse. And finding out things through that voice that turned out to be true led to a huge fight in the middle of December with my wife. I fled my home in my PJs during winter, convinced I had opened myself to a demon and that I was damned as the voice had told me. Damn, dude, that's like fucking 101. By the way, I was dating a girl once upon a time and I was cued in somehow. I think I've told this story before where like I suddenly became aware that she cheated and I suddenly became aware of how the entire scenario went down.
Whoa.
And I don't know how I did it. And when I threw it in her face, she almost fucking died.
Wow.
Like, instead of saying no, she said, how did you know that? And I didn't even fucking have a rebuttal for her because when she said, how do you know that? My entire brain just went, you fucking bitch, you did. And then we just went full blown into argument mode. There was never an addressing of how I knew that. I just knew it. It gives me chills just thinking about it. Probably a demon.
Man, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on the circumstance, but it also could be a lie,
you want to
right?
know the circumstance? Insane. I became aware of it because I found chocolate wrappers, Hershey's Kisses, little foil chocolate wrappers, and that was it. I touched the chocolate wrapper, and I'm like looking at it in the car, and I just knew everything. And what I knew was that she went to school with a backpack full of Hershey's Kisses because we were teenagers at the time, and she offered the guy that she had a crush on a kiss. She said, "Do you want a kiss?" I knew this, and then of course that's your opening for him to be like, "Yeah, I want a kiss," and then they
by touching it.
By touching the. Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that was what made me know, but that's how it went. I found silver Hershey's Kisses wrappers, and I fucking like was fiddling with them, and then all of a sudden I just became plagued by this fucking gnosis. Like I felt insane, by the way, to be like, oh, I know you cheated on me. I know you jokingly offered a man kisses and if he said no, then you were gonna say, guess no chocolate for you. And if he said yes, then you were gonna fucking kiss him. And I like this bitch was like white as a ghost. And
girls are so stupid too, because she could have just very easily been like, I don't know what you're talking about, and you would have been like, maybe I am crazy.
Oh, I would have felt like insane that I ever opened my mouth and said that. I would have felt insane.
Moral of the story: learn how to gaslight. Idiot.
Learn how to gaslight. Very important to gaslight. Okay, you can take it over from here.
So off I go in the middle of icy weather, barefoot into the night, thinking it was over. I was damned. I headed down the street, intent on heading to the bridges of this town to end it all. As I walked through, something happened. To end it all.
Yeah, I guess he's going to a bridge, dude.
Thank you. Nancy is putting in the private chat here something that will come up soon. So I'll keep an eye on that because I don't know that word, Nancy. I can't even read that word that she wrote there.
Oh, okay. Claire tangency. Nancy, I'm
going to you. No, Nancy, you're going to get a raise, Nancy. We're going to come to your house and give you more. Heading down a main road at 1 a.m., I see what looks to be a homeless man walking toward me in the distance. He approached me, calling me by name. At this point, I was freaking out. Oh, no, wait up. All right, so with a little aside, she's saying, that's what you have. Clairtangency, also referred to as psychometry. It's the ability to gain insights about past, present, and future by touching or holding objects in the material world. What did you think when you held my dick that one time?
I didn't think much. I just went, wow.
Nice dick. Nice dick.
Eh?
You want to do a show? You want to do a show together?
That's exactly how it started. I was like, this is a dick I could do a show with. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say all that. I don't think I have all that. That was a very strange period in my life where it's also where I learned to like do some sort of pseudo astral projection. I was homeless. So
I was going to ask if you were homeless.
Yeah, I was plagued with depression. I was thinking about killing myself at that time. It was. I went to that guy's house after I found that out, stood on his front lawn and told him to come outside and fight me. And he said that if he got fucked up, his parents would be really mad at him, so he can't come out and fight me.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was the worst shit ever. But I mean, imagine this homeless psychopath shows up to your front lawn. It's nighttime. I remember that. It's probably 10 o'clock at night. I've got his number and I'm telling him, yo, come outside. I'm going to beat your fucking ass. And he's like, no, I can't come outside and play right now because my parents will be like, why did you get beat up? I was in a real weird place at that age. Real weird. Lots of things could have gone very wrong for me at that time. I was going out at night, smashing the windows of buildings, breaking into cars. Like I was fucking crazy.
Maybe the reason why people back then had so much clairvoyance or like this connection to the spiritual is because they weren't in a house all the time, like surrounded by all this dead material. Like they were under the stars. Because the homeless people are outside most of the time, right?
Outside, yeah.
You said, yo, we outside. How about that? Catch me outside.
Yeah, well, I think it was less of that and more of the desperation. It makes you vulnerable. I don't think that I had any powers or anything like that. I think I was probably beset upon by fucking things that were whispering like truths to me, but like really poisonous truths that were just going to make me spiral more and more.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't think that I had any powers.
All right. So this guy's headed down the road. Homeless guy. He approached me, calling me by name. At this point, I was freaking out, thinking this was another delusion or apparition, but he approached me, walking up, calling me by name, telling me to calm down.
Huh.
When he reached me, good thing you didn't, Ben. He's saying Ben. When he reached me, he calmly explained, that he explained that God had woken him up to find me by name.
Wow, that's so cool.
He proceeded to calm me down, tell me about my life, things about my own sins, things about my brother, things about my parents and more. He even mentioned my invention, telling me it was such a genius idea.
God wants you to fucking vaporize this weed, dog.
God's like, God thinks it's really hilarious. It's crazy, but maybe don't.
God loves the idea that you put weed in an inhaler. He really.
But like, even though it's dangerous, like God is probably like, look at this guy creating something. Like, is that his?
Yeah,
it is kind of cool.
Something I don't know if like weed is inherently a sin. That's just a kind of a joke. And I don't know that. Like, think about like back in the day, right? Like, everything is still more natural than it is now. And you find this fucking plant and you go, look at these little guys, and you pluck them off and you go, this would be good to smoke. And is that bad because you took it off and then you introduced fire to it and then you inhaled it? Is that bad? I don't know. So I'm not saying like, God doesn't like when you put weed in an inhaler.
Well, I mean, like even wine, right? You take wine, you ferment it for a long time, and you get it to a certain point.
Yeah, it happens accidentally. Like, you can have fruit go bad, and then like you'll see animals, if you leave pumpkins or something like that on the porch around Halloween, they'll ferment, and then the squirrels will eat them, and the squirrels will get drunk, and they'll fall off the trees and shit. It's very funny.
The butterflies specifically eat only fermented fruit. That's why they fly like they're always drunk. They're going crazy.
Is that true? That's why they fucking fly like idiots?
Yeah, they're all drunk. They're just wasted. But whatever. The Bible does say, like, drink, just not in excess, not to get drunk. That sort of thing. So I guess like, if you're gonna smoke, don't get crazy. Like, don't get crazy. Don't get crazy with it.
Tobacco? I wonder if that's even like a thing. I say tobacco.
Well, but then tobacco, you have to have the conversation about like nowadays our cigarettes, they have like rat poison in them. So it's like,
carcinogens and shit. And,
enjoy candy, but then like nowadays they have red 40
Not
in it.
Anymore,
like,
baby. Not anymore. Fucking
hell yeah.
RFK. He did it both in our reality and in the universe. He fucking got rid of the dye in the foods now. So
that's right. You said it. Yeah. You said it.
That's like weird that I said it too. Well, it's not weird because that's what he's been saying. So it was just a silly idea that came to me. But I happened to post it like at the exact moment that it got announced that he said that he's taken the dye out of all the foods. So who knows? Maybe there was a bit of whatever happens in the crossover happens in our reality.
Well, black people always do things first. They're trendsetters. So there we go.
It is true.
All right. So he told me God was trying to speak to me constantly, to all of us, but we were too busy or too dumb to hear him. Interesting. This is another thing too, is like, so a homeless guy approaches you saying this and you're like, how do I know this is from God? And it's like, well, if this guy's stopping you from suicide or whatever you went to do.
That's a good point. That's a huge point. Yeah.
Because if it's hard to tell, right? Like nowadays I would say no. Like if somebody comes up to you and they're like, I'm a prophet. Whenever you hear somebody say they're a prophet, you're like, probably not. Get out of here.
It's all about the fruits, right? What are the fruits? I didn't myself. Well, that's a good fruit.
Yeah. But like if John the Baptist was around today, he'd be like, get away from me. You smell, you look horrible, and you're ranting and raving. You're probably going on and on about, the or whatever he's talking about. I'm like,
all these people who want me to look into a certain thing, and if I don't look into a certain thing, then I'm a shill. And if I do look into the certain thing, then I'm co-opting it and I'm steering people away from it. And that's the narrative of kind of like the little season people or whatever. And I'll sometimes I'll pray to God and I'm like, if I'm meant to look at this, please send me not them.
An obvious sign. Please.
Yeah, don't send me people who I regard as unstable and crazy and who I can see are like launching accusations against me that aren't true. Therefore, what else have they gotten wrong? I can't trust that. So, yeah, I would hope the messenger at least is tailored to me in such a way that I'm receptive to it.
Wes Roth was I was talking with him. Shout out Wes. I was talking with him about like just like the idea of like, am I on the right path? And he said he's like, I think he thinks about that a lot himself too. Yeah. And he was like, I was like, doors open for me. And he's like, yeah, I think doors open for me too. But I always wonder is like, are these doors opening to my demise or are they opening, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's a great question. It's something that you have to constantly be looking at. Like,
that's so funny. Cause I was talking to Wes about the same thing. Cause I don't know, I respect him and I'm like, he's seen a lot and he's been close to a lot of people that are successful, but are also doing like, maybe even like conspiracy content and shit. And I'm like, in comparison to what they've done, we get into the topic of like morality and shit like that. And basically he was like, I don't know. I mean, there was a time when you guys were going pretty hard against it and then you realized something and you pivoted and that's a great sign. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a good sign. Like they're still off baby and stuff, but that's not where the buck stops. And also, are these so
there's a lot of nuance.
I am worried about that. I do worry about that. I worry that we're not, we're dealing with topics that we're walking the edge of a knife. One side is like Christianity and the other side is like New Age Gnostic shit. And sometimes they look very similar to one another, and sometimes they sound very similar to one another. So we're having discussions with guests, and we're not promoting ideas, but we're exploring ideas. You could interpret it as promoting ideas. Certainly many fucking people do. And you're promoting this, you're promoting that. It's like I'm just exploring ideas. But even that exploration, right? Look into the abyss looks back. At one point, does something look like one thing, and you move towards it, and you go, oh, fuck, I just went in the wrong direction. And I like to think that we can pivot and double back and course correct. And I'm always going to try to do that. But it is something that I worry about.
Yeah. I think you have to constantly be worried about it. And I don't know, have the ability. I think there's also the ability to go, just because I looked at this thing and I thought this thing, I thought something at one point doesn't mean that I always think this. And it doesn't mean that, I don't know, if let's say that there's a weird spirit that's attached to it, that's not attached to me just because I looked at this thing and I thought that. I think that would want you to think that it is attached to you, that there is no coming back from this idea. It's like, no, that is not true. I shed this and I rebuked that. This is not what I think anymore. I have a better idea, or I've been given clarification, and we're learning. We're trying to figure this thing out to be able to navigate more correctly in this weird temporary realm that we're in. So
I had a bit of a realization like yesterday in my insanity. And it's interesting because in those moments I go through this like almost fugue states. There you go. And in those moments I had, I do have some clarity. I have things that are like given to me, and I see them and I go, oh, that's fascinating. And it only kind of happens when I'm in this fucking really weird state. But the realization that I had was, I think it was from the conversation we had with Nate. Because there was a topic at one point about believing these entities, and very much like Ben here, where he's being told by these entities this thing, to the extent that it's driving him to go to a bridge and potentially toss himself off of it. Well, I had an experience like that, and it was when I went to the tarot card reader in New Orleans, and it wasn't like a really groundbreaking thing. And I've since repented for it and asked God to forgive me for my sins and release any bonds that I might have developed because of that. It was fucking foolish and all these things. But the guy said that we were going to be incredibly successful and that this thing that we were doing was going to be big, but also that I was going to be hated more than I've ever been hated in my life. And what's fascinating is my reaction to that. My reaction to that is, yeah, that makes sense. And then I anticipate it happening. And when I look around, it's happening. But why would I believe that? Why would I think that's true? I may be annoying, but I've always been a good enough person that like I'm pretty well liked by people. Like pretty well liked. I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with. I'm warm, I'm friendly. I don't live an immoral, debaucherous, evil lifestyle. Thereby I don't really, have people that fucking hate me. But I accepted that. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, even though it goes against my character and how people have treated me traditionally. And I thought about that for a second, and I was like, oh, why did I believe that? It's huge if you believe something. Your belief in a thing, especially your belief in a thing that a spiritual entity is telling you, which is almost 100% what's happening in a tarot card reading. You're dealing with familiars that are whispering or moving or, whatever with the cards. Why would I believe that spiritual entity? Why would I accept that?
Was that meant to, like, let's say you were a woman and somebody said that, it's like, you're going to be doing this stuff, but they're going to hate you. And you're like, oh, what if it was like hinging on like, well, maybe he'll stop. Maybe he'll back up now if I said that he'll be hated. You know what I mean?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like, if I believe that I will be hated, then there's an energetic exchange there. And I'm now dumping my own mental energy into this idea of accepting being hated, which almost is probably going to create the very scenario that.
Yeah, you'll notice it more. I listen. I understand that I'm going to be hated, but I don't put much thought to it ever. Like it's they make fun of me on Tower Gang where they're like, well, I'm like, I don't understand how this person doesn't like me, and they're like, how could you not understand that people don't like are not going to like
think
you.
about it very much.
I literally don't. Like when I say that, I'm like, I know who I am. I was like, I don't understand why you don't like me. And they're like, that's asinine. And I was like, I just don't get it. I don't put much thought to it, why you wouldn't like me. When people come and they tell me that they don't like me, I tell them where to go. And then then I move on and I'm like, everybody else likes me.
I just have never, I never had that. Like one of the things that I'm grateful for, that you taught me was this, like, the yes and model, which is to say, like, people are going to come for you and you could try to waste your breath and address every single person that's screaming up at you. And that's a fool's errand. You'll never get there. Even if you can win one other person over in the time that you spent doing that, 50 more will have popped up in their stead. And now you're just fighting an uphill battle of trying to convince strangers that you're not what they think you are. And so I think that used to be my old MO. I would sit there with people and go back and forth, and then we'd have a nice reconciliation. That's when I was dealing with like tens of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's fucking hundreds and sometimes thousands of people, and there's simply no way to do it. So the only recourse you do have is to either like hide from it or to just stand up and go, fuck you. And that works a lot better. It's a lot more fun, too. And it still does turn some of those people into friends, because I think a lot of these people who are just screaming up at you, they just want some form of interaction. So you give them interaction, and sometimes it just drops away entirely. But I don't know. I was so ready to accept that everybody was going to hate me, even though that was never the case with anything that I ever did. People always found me endearing for whatever reason, at this, because I'm small and I have a weird voice, and it's like there's something about it that makes me want to hold me, but now in this arena it's totally changed, and I have a feeling it's because I accepted that when I shouldn't have. So when spirits tell you shit, especially when it's in a psychic environment or when it's in a schizophrenic state like that, because Dr. Marzinski says, if you believe them, it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, I think.
I also think, though, I think it is the truth, though. It's like,
it is the truth also.
It's like there's nothing you could, if you came into this, and it's not about accepting it, but if you were surprised by it, you would have just been in the same spot. People are going to hate you. It doesn't really matter what we do here. They're going to hate you for whatever reason. But I guess maybe it's just like exposure. The more people that even see you, they don't like you for whatever reason, and that's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's
what I want to read this story.
Here, let's get back. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ben.
All right. Sorry, Ben. We'll finish your story here. He proceeded to walk the homeless guy, walk with him for miles, telling him the gospel in a way I had never heard before. Using street vernacular and common speech, he spoke truth into my life. As we walked, he gave me warnings. This is like, this is what Jesus did with his disciples. And it's like, and that's the thing too, like his disciples they walked with Jesus, and they still were like deeply flawed people. They all didn't get it still, like most of the time. It's, if you read the Gospels, like they get it afterward, it does a great job of detailing how much of themselves were still caught in whatever message Jesus was trying to tell them. And even after, they're still not necessarily like Jesus. They kind of try, but they are themselves. There's no other way to be. And that's what makes them so cool in their own right. Like Matthew's a really interesting character. Simon's super
like
interesting character.
There's Jesus, and then we aim for that, but we can't be.
You're not him.
Perfect.
They're never going to be him. You could see them fumbling around. It's like, you're not going to be like this guy, and they're going to continue to mess up and do stupid stuff like this. And that's why I like those characters. It's why I don't like Daniel. Well, it's not that I don't like Daniel. I like Daniel, but David is a much more interesting character. A lot more flaws in that character. I see not that I see myself in that character, but I see the humanity more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's like I can't relate. It's a very similar situation to when I come into contact with somebody who also believes in Jesus, but has this air of like a holier than thou kind of a deal.
And darkened. It's weird. I don't relate.
Yeah, and I'm looking at me, and I'm like, I almost don't even feel like we're the same thing, because I'm so acutely aware that I'm a broke down, and that I'm gonna fuck up, and that I fucked up a ton, and that I just hope in the end that God forgives me, and I'm trying to get better. But that's the place that I come from. But then a lot of these other people, they come from fucking like a place of perfection already, or at least that's what they're putting off.
Yeah, it's like, but like especially when it's like, I know that you're falling too, man. But whatever. Let's continue. At one point, he pointed out street graffiti in a spiral a spiral and a triangle.
Interesting.
Warning me of rituals and kidnappings of homeless people in this town, telling me if I saw them to avoid them, as they were portal sites and rituals. A triangle with a spiral. Isn't that like the pedophilia symbol?
Yeah, and they sometimes they're separate. Sometimes it's a spiral that is a triangle. Sometimes just the spiral is enough. But I remember seeing those images in the background of somebody's videos. I think it might have been the lady from TikTok who was talking about communicating with Seven. And in the background, she just had a painting of a spiral and a painting of a triangle. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. That comes up everywhere. I mean, another triangle with Elon's Tesla factory in Texas as well. It's like a pyramid. But all right. So he warned me against modern medicine, the deception of modern medicines, that I didn't know how close to the end I was and the time I was in.
Wow. That's fucking cool.
He said much of which equipped me for the past few years. I guess he's talking about COVID time. He told me I would go into jails and be a pastor in the town I was in. At the time, it seemed silly. How could a drug dealing felon do any of that? But as he walked, he told me I couldn't hurt people because I was hurt. That God loved each of us so much that he would do what he was doing for me in that moment with each if they would just listen. Very interesting stuff. I've already told my story about that as well in a similar way, but I guess that's still playing out. As we walked, he assured me he was just a man listening to God, not an angel. To every person we passed, he said howdy to in the middle of the night. When the person sneered at him, he would get sad, and when they greeted him, he would say, "They get it."
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting too. It's like, because I have the inclination when it's like I'm not going to say hi to anyone. It's a New York thing, and I think that's why
I do it. I say hi to everybody. I was walking when I'm walking with my family. I always say hi. Maybe when I'm alone, I don't do it, but when I'm with my family, and I think it's like something I want my son to see or whatever. But and when you don't say hi to me, I fucking ridicule you as I keep walking. I turn to my wife and I go, "Fucking that guy, huh? What an asshole! I think I was pretty loud and clear. I said good morning. We made eye contact. What the fuck?"
It's like I'm damaged from New York, where it's like if someone says hi to you, I'm like, does this guy want? Do you want money? Do you want to like?
Well, that's because that's
me?
fucking usually what they wanted back in New York is money or whatever.
It's a weird reality that this exists, and I'm depriving my kids of that. But it's also not a reality where it's like this exists on the subway in New York or in the ghettos in New York in the streets. People aren't supposed to be like this, or maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know what people are supposed to be like, but I hate it. And it's like, it's kind of like damaged me to a point where I'm like, I'm going to go like an old guy got hit by a car over there in the Villages, and my wife gets out and she's like, I'll go to help him. And I like, my first inclination was like, let's just go. Like somebody else will, let's get out of here. Like if like stopping here, we're inviting trouble that could possibly happen, but nothing happened.
I have a bad habit of trying to like help people in the moment, and it almost always fucking like I don't know if I told you this, but I was at the corner store the other day and I was trying to get money from the ATM, and there's some old lady, she's just at the ATM and she's just staring at it for mad long, and I'm eventually realizing like this is a really long time, what's going on here? And I start paying attention to her and I realize she's like wobbling and swaying. Next thing you know, she just starts falling backwards. So she's a little old lady, and there's a lady between me and her. That lady steps out of the way to let her fall. Nice. And I dive my body in and catch this old woman. And let me tell you something. I've done that enough times to know it's never received well. It almost feels like you should just let people fall. Yeah. Because it just gets they're embarrassed, so they're reactive and they're dismissive, and they want to minimize the situation, so they look at you like you're crazy for doing what you just did. But I caught her, and her body felt like it was made of pillows. It was so weird. Like I was bent over at the hip and my arms were extended, and I still caught her and was able to lift her up. You know how hard that is to lift up a person with your arms fully extended and you're bent over at your hip? She felt like she weighed nothing. It was so bizarre. And then everybody kind of looked at me like I was the asshole because, some shit got knocked over in the process, and jeez, dude. So fucking weird. This is another one of those things that I do that's very strange that I don't realize it at all. It's going to come back to haunt me. Literally too retarded to stop. But yeah, so that old lady, she was not grateful. Nobody was grateful. She was going to fall 100%, and I caught her and kept her from doing it. I was the asshole of the entire situation, and the energy was just very strange after that. So, I don't know what it is, but I have a tendency to do that. One time I did it, and I baseball slid like I was going into home base to catch an old woman who was falling. But I knocked her down. Oh, no. She fell because I slid into her. Slid into her like I was trying to be safe. Like I didn't want to get out. I slid into her. I took her fucking legs out from underneath her, and I caught an old lady on top of my body. She was going down, but in hindsight, I don't think she was going down until I fucking tackled her, basically. And everybody was like, yeah, sweep the leg. I fucking I Goldberg speared her legs out. And you know what the worst part was? After I picked her up and got her back to her feet, I was in the middle of a conversation with my manager at the time when that happened. Nobody addressed it. Nobody said anything because it was so cringy and it was so unbearable what I had just done that rather than be like, that was a weird move, why'd you do that? He just said, so anyway, and kept talking.
Jeez.
It was that bad. It was
like, let's pretend that never happened.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, don't stick your...
All right, let's continue.
Yeah,
so
sorry, Ben, once again.
We walked for miles and my feet hurt because he has bare feet. I forgot he's not wearing shoes. He took off his shoes and gave them to me, which I tried to refuse. His response was he was giving me them because of who he was, not me, and to just take them. At one point, he banged on a random trailer park window, and a sleepy man who answered what the hell he wanted. He simply said, "Hey man, I'm jonesing for a cig. Do you have one?" The guy grumbled but gave him a cigarette and a light. To which the man said, "He gets it," and we walked off.
Dude, this guy is fucking awesome.
Yeah, what the hell? As we passed churches in town, he would point to them and ask me, "Who built that?" And I would reply, "God." And he would get mad and say, "No, who built that?" And I would say, "People." To which his response would be, "Exactly." He finally told me after the last church we passed that God cares about what he built, and that's you, not a building or a church. He built man, and that is what he cares about. Interesting. Yeah.
Banger.
I accepted Christ that night, and when I asked him what was next, he simply wished me a happy birthday and bid me to go to work. It was a crazy night that changed my life. The night I found Christ, or rather the night Christ found me.
That's so cool.
Yeah. My life since that time has been an example of God's providence in my life. From drug dealing ex-felon to chaplain, pastor, and working helping the homeless daily. I have more stories from both before and after I found salvation, but to me, the night I got saved was the most important.
It's a very cool story.
Yeah. Since this night and before, I have other stories and encounters, both from my work on the street with the homeless, while going to jails as a chaplain, and while working at my state's largest homeless camp on Graveyard, as well as experiencing pre-Christ involving an abduction type experience ended by the name of Christ in my 20s. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Yeah, Ben, we want to hear more of those stories. Maybe if Ben is a pastor, maybe we have somebody on to talk to us about that. That would be
cool. And then Ben will get accused of being on a shill show,
a racist podcast. Did you know those guys created the Niggerverse, or at least one of them did?
Yeah, and I think it's mending people. Thank you, Ben. This is actually a really cool story. I feel like there was probably a lot more if you spent that long with this guy.
Yeah.
But I get it. You don't want to type a book up, but that's I've been thinking a lot lately about like I don't know what to. I've never felt like asking God for much, but part of me is just like, you read the Bible, you fast, and you pray, and it just seems to be, if you do that long enough, God responds in some sort of way. Yeah. And so part of me is almost like wanting to engage with that model but I'm like, what do I ask God to show me? You know, because I feel like God's already done so much for me, and I feel like it's pretty obvious what I'm supposed to do, and you know, his presence in my life is glaringly obvious. So it kind of feels like I don't really need to ask God for anything, but I kind of want to, because I want to be able to test this thing of like fasting and prayer and reading the word, and then having something on the other end of that. Yeah, fasting is huge. Yeah. And so I've been kicking that idea around lately of like, I want to do that, but what do I ask? I almost want to be like, can you come say hi?
I also have been feeling like I know like there's a lot of like come as you are, and that's fine, I think, to a certain level, but there's a way that like in the Old Testament they talk to God, they address him, they're like they give him a title. You know, it's like Lord of the Universe, you know, like this kind of thing. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, by not just calling him God, but like real pretty specific. Like, what are you? What is this thing? As best as you could explain it. Like, that would be interesting to.
It's like the spirit of the ultimate father, you know,
yeah.
in many ways. But you know, I'm like, is that silly? Is that a silly thing to do? Also, is that bad to do? Like, is it bad to be like, I'm going to ask him to just to say hi, like just to say hi to me in a way that I know it's you. Is that fucking stupid? And
no, I think that's that's actually a good question. That's probably what people should be doing all the time.
Like, I want that. I think that sounds incredible, and that would be really, really, really cool. And that's something that I'd share that with everybody. I'd go to my son and be like, it's fucking, if you pray to him and you talk to him, he'll say hi. You know, like grab by his little face and shake it. But yeah, I don't know. That's just been on my mind a lot lately. Is like, it's right there. People go through all kinds of dumb fucking ritual. They'll sacrifice a small animal and make a ring of salt to talk to some greasy deity that doesn't have their best interests in heart. But you know, there are rituals. I don't want to call them rituals because it has such a negative connotation, but there are rituals you can do to speak to the Father. You fast, you pray, and you read the word, and you ask. And then it seems to be over enough time, because I hear that a lot. It's like the amount of stories that I hear of people, you know, praying to God to show them something, and then some shit happens. And it's like, well, and they tell you how to do it. Like I said, it's fasting and prayer and reading the word. So I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about a lot. I just didn't know if it was to be like, just say hi. Cause I don't even want to, what am I going to ask him for? I don't need anything. He's given me everything. I just, you know, just to have an experience would be really wonderful. Or maybe I'm thinking about things the wrong way. I don't know.
I don't know. Get creative. You're creative. Figure out something else.
I would ask God, are you, and it's okay. I get it. I understand if you are you displeased with the verse? Are you not pumped about that? Should I not have done that? Because it came from a really fun place when I did that. It wasn't malicious at all. I was actually tickled.
It is very innocent, very okay. Come on, I mean, this was like, dude, it's I don't understand how it's not hilarious. 369, damn, look fine. It is great. Look at they even got the part in his hair.
I love it. I had to re-edit that one. I was like, give him a mustache, because it gave me that guy with no mustache. I was like, no, Nikola Tesla's got that mustache. You can't not give me the mustache. My favorite one might have been the Steve Irwin, where I said a stingray knelt on his neck until death. I thought that was very funny.
This one is just like Steve Irwin and though.
It's like really black too, and it did that at first, and I was like,
look at the afro. The afro.
Give him an afro. Yeah, it's got his hair hanging out the back of it.
He even has like a nappy mullet. This is great. I mean, how could you not use this for this? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, God, is this okay?
People are doing Studio Ghibli. Isn't that yellow face?
I'm doing the Nickverse. All right, come on.
This is so much better. It's so much better.
I loved it.
It crosses a line of like what you're allowed to talk about, and then also what is funny. And people know it's funny.
What they just get the Jordan Peterson one is good. Yeah, be the most dominant in the hierarchy. I like the Albert Pike one. That one was very funny because it doesn't even look like him. It just put a black dude's head over his head. You could still see part of his head peeking in the background.
Hands are white.
His hands are white. And I said, when these niggas need a hero, we shall provide that motherfucker. Oh my God! Come on, bro.
So yeah, free.
Universe?
Like, you kidding me? Stranger by the Hour podcast, banger podcast.
Yeah. I like those. Those guys say a lot of really fun stuff.
Free my Mason. We should invite them to Bohemian Grove. That would be fun.
Oh, we should. That'd be fun to do. All right.
I gotta pee. I gotta pee, and we'll be back with
what time?
Cyprian or Vin Armani at 4:30. No, like 3 hours, 3.5. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here. I don't even really know how that show's gonna go. He's a little bit of a, what's the word? He could be a little bit of a prickly character, but just be yourself and see where it goes. He might hate us. He might love us. We'll find out. It's gonna be hilarious. I can't wait.
Excited.
But that's a dude. Guys. That's a dude that went like his transformation from basically like male model escort, like kind of a, I don't know, I want to call him a piece of crap, but like kind of like a philanderer kind of dude, very full of himself, to changing his life. I think he lives in Japan now. Left. He's part of the Orthodox Church, and he's changed his name so Cyprian is the name of a saint, which I think we should ask him about. But the guys did a complete transformation. Somebody I was at odds with like, I don't know, in the libertarian idea space, like economic stuff, and I didn't understand what he was doing religiously a couple of years ago, but now I sort of do, and I want to delve deeper into that aspect. He thought we wanted to talk about tariffs. He was like, "Oh, I'll come on quickly to talk about Trump's tariffs." I was like, "No, I don't care about that. I want to talk about your journey.
God.
I'm talking about God." And he was like, "I'm down." I was like, all right, perfect.
Baby, let's go. All right, well, guys, look forward to that. Also, don't forget one more time that patreon.com is where you're going to want to be when Bohemian Grove tickets drop.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
Milkus Dogus is going to be there. He'll be in. It's actually a requirement. We told him that if he shows up, he doesn't have to pay for his ticket.
He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he pays for his ticket. Patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Be there when the tickets drop, or you will simply not be there at all, because Owen Benjamin's audience and Sam Tripoli's audience and Shane Cashman's audience and everybody else's audience is going to eat these tickets up. So if you want any chance of being there for what I think is probably going to be one of the greatest fucking events ever on the planet,
yes,
then you're going to want to be at patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. That's it, guys.
That's it. All right. Bye.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real.
You can persuade them that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see. You can't. Because they'll